Okay, so this is Parker's Dexcom, and we're gonna put the pump on the same side of his body that the Dexcom's on, or it can go on the back of his other arm. So in this case, we're gonna put it, step back, so stand up. We're gonna put it about right here. So the first step is take an alcohol wipe, open that part, and wipe the area where you're gonna put the pump. Let's see. And I do that first so it can be drying while we get the pod ready. Go get your pump.
Right there.
Okay.
Do this.
Okay, this is his pump. And what you do is you swipe. His password is 2612. Hit enter. And if there's anything on the screen, you can just hit next, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna hit deactivate pod. If there's already a pod on, the reason we're deactivating it is because we had already taken it off. But if you were if there was one on there, you would hit change pod, and then follow the prompts. I'll show you whenever we get one on. Okay, so this is the screen. Once you're ready to put on a new pod, you would hit set up new pod, and it tells you to fill a new pod with U100 insulin, listen for 2 beeps, and then tap next. So these are the pods. You open it up. It's got a syringe and a cap with a needle. So you take it and you screw it on. This is his insulin. Take an alcohol wipe, wipe off the top, and then you're gonna wanna draw up 200 units. So I push 200 of air in, and then I stick it in and pull it back. So I'm at 200. So remember his device is saying, fill the pod with insulin, listen for 2 beeps. This is the pod. Where this arrow is pointing is where you put the insulin. So you'll stick this needle in this, it's a little hole right here. And you'll start pushing the insulin. You just push it slowly and you'll hear it beep twice. All right, it beeped. I don't know if you heard it. So then once you do that, you hit next, and it says communicating with pod. You want to lay the device on top of the pod. And this usually does take a little bit of time, like a few minutes or a minute or so. And you'll hear it start clicking, and that is it's priming. Okay, once it's done, it tells you to clean the site where the pod will be applied, which we've already did, and then remove tab and remove the paper backing. And what you want to do is you take the pod and you remove this clear tab, which is easier with it sitting on the counter. You pop it up kind of like a can of Coke. And then you have the paper backing here. And you peel it off, and this is the part where you just need to be careful because this area is really sticky, and if it folds over on itself, then he won't be able to put it on. So, let's see. So once you do that, you take the pod, and I just hold it like this to keep it from folding it over, and then just stick it directly on the skin, and then rub down the white tape around it. As you can see, it did wrinkle a little bit there, but that's fine. Oh yeah, and it needs to be left to right if it's on the side. If it goes on its arm, you can put it up and down with the clear, there's a clear window on it facing up. But when it's on the side, you can do left to right. Okay, then the device will say, is the pod securely in place? So you will say yes, and it says communicating with pod. And when it says that, you can put a little bit of pressure right here and it will pop. And that's when it goes in. As you see, it says inserting cannula, which that's what it just did when it popped. And it says, is the cannula properly inserted? And there's a pink color right here on the pod. You can kind of see it. And you can also look in that window and you'll see a blue, you can take your flashlight sometimes, you'll see it's a blue tube, it's a cannula, and it's in its skin. So once it inserts, you just hit yes, and switch to automated mode, you would hit yes. And he is good. So now it's working. Now, just for reference, like when you're changing it when it's still on him, the way you would change the pod, this is what it would look like. And you would hit the menu. I'm sorry. When you're changing it when it's on them, you would come here and you would hit pod info. And you hit view pod details and you would hit change pod. In our case, it had already came off, so I just followed whatever prompts it said and said deactivate pump. But so you'd hit pod info, view pod details, and then change pod. So that's that. And if for some reason the tape does fold over, this is his old one, and you've already filled it with insulin, you could take this syringe, put it back in the hole where you put the insulin, and pull that insulin out to put into a new pod. And that's all there is to it.